The battlefield was a graveyard of smoke and blood. Shadows moved where no living thing should. A boy crawled through the carnage, clutching a shattered sword. Every breath burned. Every heartbeat screamed, this might be his last. Then, a sudden silence. The wind died. The cries of the dying faded. Even the enemy seemed to vanish. Something stirred in the mist. A figure, taller than fear itself, emerged. Golden light shimmered around her, armor like molten moonlight. Her eyes, ancient, cold, piercing, locked onto him. He froze. Alive or already dead. A voice, soft yet impossible to ignore, cut through the darkness. Why do you crawl when warriors stand? And in that moment, he realized, this was no ordinary battle. This was the night that would decide everything. The boy's knees trembled as Athena stepped closer, golden armor whispering over shattered stones. The fog curled like living smoke, hiding and revealing her in fleeting brilliance. Why are you here? He breathed. For those who cling to hope when all seems lost, Athena replied. Her spear glimmered faintly. Her eyes seemed to scan his very thoughts. Then, a strange sign appeared. A white owl, silent as the night, landed on a broken shield. Its glowing eyes mirrored Athena's. The boy shivered. It was no ordinary bird. You see what others cannot, she whispered. Only the brave and wise glimpse the path. Through the fog, he glimpsed shadows moving, unseen paths through the carnage. I can't, he began. Athena raised a hand. I will show you. But first, prove you are ready. A roar shattered the night. Scouts emerged from the mist, eyes gleaming, weapons drawn. The boy froze. Athena's calm eyes met his. Her spear tilted toward him. Do you run, or do you fight? A spark ignited within him, ancient, fearless. I fight, he said, voice steady though his hands shook. Athena's lips curved into a faint, approving smile. Then watch. Your battle has only begun. The fog parted, revealing a hidden path through the battlefield, as if the goddess herself had carved it. The boy followed the hidden path Athena revealed, crunching over shattered shields and broken spears. The fog swirled, hiding enemies, yet he felt their burning eyes from the darkness. A shadow lunged. A soldier in black armor materialized from the mist. He barely raised his sword. Steel clashed. Sparks flew, and the bitter smell of blood filled the air. Then a third figure emerged. Scouts pressed closer. Intent clear, death. Panic clawed at him. Athena stepped forward. No word, no strike, yet the enemies faltered. Light from her golden armor cut through the shadows. A force invisible but undeniable. A calm washed over him, instinct guiding each movement. Parry, strike, block, each perfect, each predestined. You are learning, Athena whispered, carried by the wind. War is not strength alone. It is foresight, strategy, understanding your enemy before they strike. The owl perched on a broken helmet, its gaze piercing the scouts' very souls. They faltered, whispering of unseen terror. Athena's presence was no longer guidance. It was power, coursing through him. But a deeper roar rolled across the battlefield. The fog thickened. Figures larger than men, armored in steel and shadow, moved with unnatural precision. The boy's stomach turned. This was no ordinary attack. The real danger had arrived. Athena's eyes locked on him. This is the test. Stand firm, or be lost to fear forever. In that instant, he realized the goddess of war had not merely come to guide him. She had come to forge him in fire, where only the brave survive. The mist thickened, wrapping the battlefield in suffocating silence. The boy's heart pounded, yet a strange calm lingered, the calm only Athena could inspire. Then the shadows shifted, and from the fog emerged a figure taller and brighter than the moon itself. Athena stepped forward, no longer distant, but a living force of awe and terror. Golden armor gleamed like sunlight, her spear radiating energy that made the ground shimmer. The owl on her shoulder blinked once, sending a shiver through him. Do you see now? Her voice rang, clear yet heavy with eternity. This is not merely war. It is the measure of the heart. The enemy froze, eyes wide with panic. Some fell to their knees, clutching their heads as visions of defeat struck before a sword was swung. Athena raised her spear, not to strike, but to command. Wind bent around her, sparks lancing through the fog like invisible blades. Shadows of soldiers retreated, their cries swallowed by the night. The boy's gaze met hers. This was no ordinary goddess. She was judgment, strategy, and destiny incarnate. "You have been chosen," she said, stepping closer, a flicker of humanity in her eyes. "I have seen your courage, your fear, your choices. The next steps will define who you are." The ground trembled as larger shadowed figures advanced. Athena did not flinch. Instead, she turned to him. "Do you trust me?" Every instinct screamed to flee, yet he felt the invisible thread of destiny. "I trust you," he said, voice steady though his hands shook. A faint smile touched her lips, and the air hummed with power. "Then follow. The real trial begins." The goddess of wisdom and war stepped fully onto the battlefield, turning night into a stage where legend would be written. The boy followed Athena, yet fear had not claimed him. The fog twisted unnaturally. Shadows moved where no soldier should be. The larger figures advanced silently, armor black as night, eyes glowing with cold malice. Each step echoed. Every heartbeat threatened to betray him. Athena walked with effortless grace, as if the earth itself obeyed her. "You must understand," she whispered. "This is no ordinary enemy. They are doubt, fear, hesitation. They grow stronger when you hesitate." Suddenly, a shadowed giant lunged. He swung blindly. The figure phased through him like smoke. Panic flared, but Athena's hand touched his shoulder, grounding him. "Your mind is your weapon," she said. "Do not fight as men. You must fight as warriors of thought and courage." He closed his eyes, predicting each strike before it came. When he opened them, he moved with uncanny precision, parrying and dodging blows that should have killed him. The shadows recoiled, silent growls filling the fog. Athena's spear flashed, sending invisible waves that staggered them without mortal contact. "You see," she said softly, "the battlefield bends to those who understand it. But this is only the beginning." From the mist came a deeper, terrifying sound. Something far larger approached. The ground trembled. This was no ordinary enemy. Athena's eyes narrowed, a flicker of mortal tension passing her face. "This trial will decide your fate," she said. "Face it, or be consumed." The boy's hands clenched the sword. A spark of courage blazed within him. Guided by a goddess, he now faced a force that made even her golden light seem fragile. From the mist emerged the true enemy, a shadowed colossus, vast and terrible, making the battlefield tremble with every step. The shadowed colossus loomed, eyes molten iron. Each step shook the ground. The boy's knees threatened to buckle. The fog churned, hiding smaller shapes moving with the giant. Athena raised her spear. Golden light cut through the mist like a beacon. Shadows faltered, and the battlefield held its breath. "Look carefully," she said. "Strength alone will not save you. Observe, understand, strike where the enemy is weakest." The boy's gaze followed her hand to the colossus. Armor had a faint gap near the left shoulder, glinting like moonlight. His pulse quickened. Could one strike win this battle? "Your mind guides your sword," Athena whispered. "Fear is your only real enemy." He inhaled, centering himself. Destiny stood before him. The colossus swung, crushing where he had stood. He leapt aside, guided by Athena's silent wisdom. Athena pointed to the gap. Now, with a cry of fear and defiance, he lunged. Steel met steel. His sword pierced the gap. A deafening roar shook the battlefield. The giant staggered, shadowed minions faltered. His chest heaved. He realized he was not merely surviving. He was becoming a warrior worthy of Athena's guidance. Athena stepped closer, eyes blazing. "You see now? The greatest battles are won before they are fought, with the mind, not muscle. Remember this, greater trials await." The fog lifted slightly, revealing the shattered battlefield and fleeing enemies. Victory was fragile, yet the boy understood. This spark of triumph was only the beginning of a legend Athena was shaping. The fog thinned, yet tension hung heavy over the battlefield. The wounded colossus moved, each step shaking the ground like a drum of doom. Shadowed minions circled the boy, snarling, hearts frozen by fear. Athena stepped forward, golden armor gleaming. The owl on her shoulder watched silently. "This is the true test," she said, her voice slicing the air. "Not for the weak. Only the warrior who balances strategy, courage, and mind will prevail." The boy gripped his sword, nerves alive. His body ached, but his mind burned with clarity. He had read the shadows, predicted attacks, and felt Athena guiding him. Yet the Colossus pressed its immense weight upon him. The enemy moved as one. The Colossus swung massive arms. Shadowed warriors advanced in perfect synchronization. Now, Athena commanded, spear pointing at the wounded shoulder. Light flared, pushing shadows back. The boy charged. Steel sang against shadow. Each strike precise, each move guided by Athena's wisdom. The Colossus countered with terrifying strength, shaking the battlefield with each blow. Athena moved with him, subtly bending reality. Her motions revealed a path, an invisible blueprint for victory. The boy followed instinctively. The Colossus raised a final crushing blow. Athena's eyes blazed. Focus. Strike not with fear, but certainty. The boy lunged, following her guidance. Steel pierced the Colossus's heart. A deafening roar split the night. Shadows shrieked as their master fell. Silence fell. Even the wind paused. The boy stood, chest heaving, sword in hand, eyes meeting Athena's. You have done well, she said softly. But greatness is never finished. The path of a warrior is eternal. As shadows dissipated and dawn crept over the horizon, he felt a shift within. No longer merely a soldier. He had become a hero shaped by a goddess, mind sharpened, courage forged in destiny's fire. Dawn crept across the battlefield, turning fog to streaks of silver and gold. Broken weapons lay among fallen shadows. Yet the boy stood unbroken, sword in hand, chest rising with the rhythm of survival. Athena approached silently, owl on her shoulder blinking once, surveying the remnants. You survived the trial, she said softly. But survival alone does not make a warrior. Understanding does. The boy looked at the devastation, shadows gone. I fought, but was it truly me? Or are you guiding every strike? Athena's gaze softened, hand on his shoulder. I guide, but I do not fight for you. Courage, wisdom, strategy, they come from within. You saw what others could not. You became more than fear. That is what makes a warrior. A gentle wind swept the battlefield, carrying whispers of the fallen. The boy felt peace, yet also the weight of responsibility. The battle was over, but the war within, the understanding of courage and wisdom, had just begun. Life returned slowly. Birds chirped, the ground warmed, the battlefield breathed again. He had stood in the presence of a goddess, survived the impossible, and emerged transformed. Athena's gaze lifted to the horizon, golden light illuminating her form. Remember this night. You are no longer the same. Every choice from now on will echo through the lives of others. Carry it wisely. The boy nodded, a spark of understanding igniting within. Shadows, giants, fear, all had been faced. Athena's wisdom had revealed the path to true strength. The battlefield, scarred yet silent, held a strange beauty, a reminder that even in darkness, courage guided by wisdom brings light. The boy stood among the battlefield's ruins, morning sun casting long shadows. The enemy was gone, fog lifted, yet the weight of what had occurred pressed heavier than any sword. Athena stepped forward, golden armor radiant, owl perched like a sentinel. Her eyes held the knowledge of eternity. Do you understand? She asked. The trial was never about them, the shadows or Colossus. It was about you, your fear, your doubt, your choices. The boy shook his head. But I fought. I struck the Colossus. I survived. That was me, wasn't it? Athena smiled faintly. Yes, yet without understanding, courage is blind. Wisdom without action is meaningless. You did not simply fight. You chose to see, to act with purpose. That is why you stand here. That is why you were chosen. Chosen for what? He asked. For the path of a true warrior, Athena said. One who will fight battles, guide others, inspire courage, and balance strength with wisdom. This was only your first trial. The world will test you in ways you cannot yet imagine. The owl flapped, circling above, a symbol of knowledge and vigilance. You glimpsed what few mortals ever see. Athena continued. Remember the courage, the clarity. These are yours now. Never forget them. The boy felt peace and resolve. For the first time, he saw not only the battlefield, but the path his life would follow, shaped by wisdom, courage, and choice. Athena stepped back, blurring in golden light. I leave you now, but I am always watching. When the time comes, I will return, not as guide, but as a reminder of who you are destined to become." He lowered his sword, understanding that this was more than a battle. It was a forging of the soul by the goddess herself. As Athena vanished into the morning light, he knew one truth. The legend had only begun, and he was now part of it. The battlefield lay quiet, bathed in soft dawn. Broken weapons and shadows of the past were scattered, yet the air hummed with the power of what had transpired. The boy stood alone, sword in hand, gaze fixed on the horizon. Athena's lessons of courage, wisdom, and choice had settled deep within him. He was no longer a survivor. He was a warrior of destiny, shaped by a goddess. He remembered the shadows, the colossus, the countless dangers. Each trial had tested him, not for glory, but to reveal true strength, clarity of mind, courage in heart, wisdom in action. From the mist, a single white feather floated to the ground, the only sign Athena had been there. He knelt, feeling a bond beyond sight or sound, a connection between mortal and divine. "This is only the beginning," he whispered, voice steady with resolve. "The world will test me again, but I will not falter." He understood Athena's legacy. It was not her power that saved him, but the truth she revealed. Every warrior carries a spark of the divine. Strength fades. Courage guided by wisdom is eternal. He rose, sword in hand, ready to face what lay ahead. Behind him, the battlefield stood as testament to what had been endured and learned. Athena's presence was gone, yet her influence lingered, whispering through wind, leaves, and his heartbeat. He stepped forward, not as the boy who had crawled across a battlefield, but as the first chapter of a legend, a story that would echo through time. Guided by the goddess of wisdom and war, the battlefield faded, but the fire in his heart burned brighter than ever. Long after the battlefield was reclaimed by wind and sun, that night lived on, in whispers, dreams, and the hearts of those who fought with courage and wisdom. The young warrior walked among the ruins, carrying not just his sword, but a spark of Athena's guidance. Trials were far from over, yet he no longer feared them. Every shadow, every doubt, would meet the fire of understanding she had gifted him. Somewhere, in the unseen world, Athena watched, not to intervene, but to remind all that true strength is born of wisdom and choice, and that destiny favors those who see clearly, even in the darkest fog. A single white feather drifted on the wind, landing softly, a silent promise that the goddess's guidance endures for those worthy enough to see. If your heart has quickened, your mind awakened, and your spirit lifted with the courage of this warrior, remember this: within each of us lies the spark of a hero, the wisdom of Athena, and the courage to face our own shadows. Choose wisely, fight bravely, and perhaps, one day, the goddess herself may reveal the path that turns your life into a legend. If this tale of courage and wisdom stirred your soul, like, share, and subscribe. Let more legends find their way to you.